Yo, what's up? Happy New Year. Welcome to the first episode of 2026.
Podcasting for the masses, and I'm coming correct.
All right, so we're talking about, Tennessee Titans. They had the last game of the season, against the Jags, and Cam Ward goes out with the injury. So first to start off, going into the offseason, you had a, ACL injury and all that. So what can we look or expect for Cam Ward? I know they said it's a grade 3 shoulder injury. We don't know if he should get surgery or not. So what is your mindset as a star player? All eyes are on you. Everybody's expected to figure out what your decision is, because the offseason, it's just starting, but the time frame is short to make a decision so you can be prepared for next season.
I'll probably take some time to see how that shoulder just heals naturally on its own.
Yeah.
This is the first time that Cam and any of these rookies have had to themselves since they started their college senior season. Since the beginning of their college senior season, they've been on go. Right now, last year, this time, they're getting ready to train for the combine. So it never really stopped for them. So I think this time is a perfect time. And that's what the offseason is for, man. You take some time for yourself. Everybody that's played in the National Football League this year is going to be hurt, needs to do some type of rehab, some type of healing. So that's what you see what happens. And then if you get 4 to 6 weeks into the offseason, maybe around Super Bowl, and it's not, mending the way they feel it should, maybe you're talking surgery, and that might go into, obviously the season. But hey, they still got Will Levis on the roster, so they got a backup.
We also saw where the Titans released a press statement talking about, what the organization structure looks like, and they focused in on Chad Brinker and Mike Borgonzi.
Yep.
So Mike Borgonzi handles the 53-man roster and the head coach search. Chad Brinker follows everything else, research and development, salary cap construction. So a lot of people are saying that they provided transparency, but at the end of the day, it seems like they're going back to an older model. What do you think of that whole thing?
Well, it's not an older model. It's the same model that they had with Rand Carthon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mike Borgonzi, first and foremost. I like the fact that he is picking the roster and doing the football operations thing. I feel like the last time Mike Borgonzi spoke, he spoke to purpose, what exactly the Titans are planning to do. And when Chad Brinker spoke, he kind of talked about rings and things of the past, their resume, instead of how their resume is going to help move this Titans organization along. And with that being said, I guess if things don't go well, Mike Borgonzi will be falling on the sword just as Rand Carthon did, and Chad Brinker will still be here in the same spot. But I doubt it'll be that way. I'm really confident in Mike Borgonzi. The head coach, obviously, is the first matter to...
First order of business.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So he's got a pretty tough job figuring that out. And there's a bunch of names going around. Any names stick out to you with the Titans head coaching job?
I don't know. That's for them to figure it out. But I really want somebody.
Great answer.
I don't know what's going to happen. I need somebody to come in and build a culture.
That's interesting you say that. Culture and identity, right? Last year, Coach Brian Callahan had some former players come in and talk to the rookie class. And one thing I noticed when I walked down those halls, that shit looked like Target. Meaning the walls are white. There's no Titans history in that building. There's no Eddie George. There's no Steve McNair. There's no Kevin Byard, Derrick Henry. There's no Vrabel era. Oilers.
Campbell,
there's nothing in there. So to me, it's like, how do you start culture if you haven't seen it? Even free agents coming in to Tennessee, they're not seeing any history. They don't know who built these walls and who made this team prominent. And, I think that's something that needs to be addressed. Get the brothers up on the wall.
And I got to say, too, I think you touched on it where you met, I don't know if it was Amy or whoever it was, she brought in players. And it seems like that's a growing trend in the NFL. You got Matt Ryan coming into the Falcons, potentially as a president of their whole operations team. So I think the Titans, need to get guys like you in the building and who know the culture, who know the standard, and maybe hire some of y'all to get this thing going again, right?
I don't think that's how it works here. That's interesting. Yeah. I did, and this is something totally different. I did remember I was telling y'all about that coaching opportunity I may have had. At the end, it fell through. I did have a coaching opportunity. I was, had a slight interview. It fell through, and I'm gonna be here with y'all doing the Bullseye review.
So we know the two big issues that the Titans need to solve in the offseason is one, their head coach search, but two, they need to build out this roster. They have around, I don't know how much exactly in cap space, but I know they're at least top 3, might be number 1 in the NFL. What do they need to address in terms of O-line, defensive pass rusher, something like that?
Well, I think they've been doing a good job over the last couple of years solidifying that offensive line. The O-line has definitely gotten better. Surprisingly, they got better after Bill Callahan, the offensive line guru guy. Like, how the fuck you a guru on your anyway? They got better.
Yeah.
And I think now you see that Cam was passing to rookies and, third, fourth year guys pretty much the whole season. Make your quarterback happy, man. Go get the best wide receiver in the draft at your position.
Okay.
If you don't trade it and try and get more bang for your buck down the road. But if the best I think the wide receiver from Ohio State stands out to me.
Cornell Tate.
Yeah, he stands out to me. And then in the second round, you got to get a pass rusher because there's no heat. Jeffrey Simmons, as a defensive tackle, led the team in sacks. You don't have an outside pass rusher to complement him. You need that next year because Javondre Sweat is going to take leaps and bounds next year, I believe, simply because he saw the season that Big Jeff had, and I think Javondre will do more to get himself ready to play when the season starts this year instead of coming in overweight, out of shape, having to get in shape during camp.
Yep.
Who knows what they're going to do? I know they need to address those two issues. You need heat off the edge. You need somebody that can go get that rock consistently for Cam. And you also need, a bunch of 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round guys that are going to be role players, which really
that
makes
round out
up.
the roster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. In my opinion, I'm big on trading back. So I know we got the 4th overall pick. I know there's going to be probably around 3 quarterbacks that are going to get drafted in that top 5. You got Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza, and Ty Simpson. So in my perfect view, we trade back, get another first-round pick for this year or next year, and then from there pick the best player available and run the table. So,
I like that. If you can trade back, you can get 2 first-rounders. You can get your wide out and your defensive end in the first round.
Definitely.
I'm not mad at that.
And we also seen, too, or I sent it to you on Instagram, NFL Historic released the top 15 greatest Titans and Oilers players. So I'm going to read for y'all who they got, rounding out the 15. So 1 is Bruce Matthews, 2 Earl Campbell, 3 Derrick Henry, 4 Warren Moon, 5 Mike Munchak. You solid with that?
Let's go.
And then 6, you got the great Steve McNair, 7, Elvin Bethea, 8, I don't know if I'm saying these names right, but Robert Brazil.
Robert Brazil, yep.
Okay, word. 9 is Eddie. 10 is Ray Childress.
Okay.
11 is Charlie Hennigan. 12 is Chris Johnson. 13, Ken Houston. 14, Javon Curse. And 15, George Blanda.
Hold up.
I didn't see Keith Bulluck here, man. So, hey, a lot of the comments was
man,
where's Mr. Monday Night at?
Hey, I know where I'm at,
So
bro.
who you taking off? Who you taking off right there? Where do you belong?
Hey, no disrespect. I don't care. But Charlie Hennigan, he got to go. Charlie Hennigan, I know you did your thing, man, but you got to go, baby. When was that? 1960 to 1966 for 6 years, wide receiver? I'd have busted your ass, bro. I'm on that list, baby.
Yeah.
Charlie Hennigan, honorable mention, Keith Bulluck, top 15.
All right, bet.
I really don't care. That's funny, though.
And what do you say, too?
That's how I feel, though.
We had Steve at 6 and Eddie George at 9. But a lot of people like to pair them, too. So did you see any difference? Like did one mean more than the other on the team? Was one better?
You know what? That's a great question. I think when it comes to lists, you land where you fall. If you're on a top 10 list, I'm not going to complain about being any number. It's great that they thought about me. But, Steve and Eddie were game changers.
Yeah.
They were game changers, and they would take their turns. Some games it would be the fourth quarter. Eddie loved the fourth quarter because Eddie was the type of running back that wanted to impose his will on the defense. Whereas as a defender, I think that sounds crazy because I'm trying to bust your ass in the pro. I'm trying to make you tap. But Eddie's mentality was totally different. So, to have a guy like that on your team in the fourth quarter and he just wants to rock, and you know that them DBs are getting out of the way, and those tackles that were easier in the first quarter, he knew they were going to be tough for them in the fourth quarter. That was pretty huge to have on your team as a leader, as a game changer. And then Steve McNair, I feel any quarterback that can do it with their arms and their legs is dynamic and can change the game at any moment. And I don't think they go synonymously because they were on the same team and provided the same leadership. But it doesn't have to be 7 or 8 or 6, 7.
So you up on the 6-7 way?
Man, I got kids, bro. What you talking about, man?
Tyler Luke from 44. Snap good. Hold it. The kick is no good. It is wide right. And the Steelers are the champions of the North.
We all seen it literally led up the last game of the NFL season. It was
a great game.
Absolute cinema.
But it's unfortunate that the Ravens didn't get in, and it's like now the narrative directly goes to Lamar Jackson. Puts them in position once again, and the team doesn't get it done. So, obviously it falls on the quarterback. He, gets the brunt of it, but I don't really appreciate that narrative these last 2 years, or going into this year, because, look, now you got your man Josh Allen.
Right.
And before anybody say something crazy, he was my fantasy quarterback, so I rock with Josh Allen.
Rolling with Josh, okay.
But they got to get it done this year with no Patrick Mahomes and no Lamar Jackson,
no
Burrow. So you're going to let Drake May beat you? You're going to let these new guys, these new kids on the block?
Their first matchup is AFC South, Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, the new kids on the block.
Yeah.
So is that what the storyline is going to be as we go through the playoffs? Because if they get booted, the first is going to be one of those new kids winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Or representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. So I say, Josh Allen, you on the clock, my guy.
You say it's his time.
This is it. Let's get it.
Okay. So who you got, man? Before the playoffs about to start, Super Bowl picks. Let's run it. You sticking with the Niners?
Yeah, I'm sticking with my guns, man. I'm going Buffalo, San Francisco.
Okay. Word. I got the Bears, and I'm going to run with the Patriots. I got the Bears to win it. You heard it here first.
Ooh, Caleb in his second year?
I got Caleb to win it. Yup.
Right.
We're going to talk about the college football playoffs now. There's this crazy statistic that every college football team that had a bye lost, except for Kirk Cignetti in Indiana. Indiana's legit. I didn't think they were going to.
Drinking the crimson
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid now.
You're drinking the crimson and cream?
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid now, man. They done beat Alabama in a handed fashion.
I got their ass
Straight
whooped. They pulled
them.
Alabama's pants down on national TV and
spanked
that ass. Then Michael Irvin spanked some ass Ohio State, too.
I told y'all not to come to this stadium. Do not tell y'all not to come to this stadium. Don't come back no more. That's it, baby. The you.
So what's your take? Is Irvin doing too much, man, or is he just got school pride?
Nah, he's got school pride. Yeah. And something that you brought up, and you I'm about to steal your thunder.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I don't think you'll see it much often. That's the answer, because Nas was like, do you think, you'll see any more alum with the pride as Michael Irvin?
Pride, due to the transfer portal.
Yeah, because I don't think so, because I played at Syracuse for 4 years. I'm an Orangeman. Michael Irvin played at Miami for all those years, built the program. So those guys like myself, Michael Irvin, and other guys that played in the 90s and 2000s, we helped build those programs to what they are, whereas guys come through for themselves now because they're getting paid some money. They don't necessarily come through for the college experience of going to Miami or an Ohio State or a Michigan or a Syracuse, where when I was coming out, you want to go to the school because of the name. You want to go to the school for what they had done in the pride. You want to be one of those legacy players at, a Big Ten or a USC or any of those schools. Go down in history. So I don't think you'll see any more Reggie Bushes, Lindell Whites, Vince Youngs. I think all that that era is gone for sure. And it puts these coaches, well, honestly, you would think the coaches would, feel some kind of way, and I'm sure most do, but, the ones that I know, that I spoke to, they like the challenge. Speaking actually, Eddie, when I spoke to Eddie George, he was like, he doesn't mind. He likes the challenge. You know what I mean? Spoke to a friend, Brown. He was like, look, there's going to be some guys that I'm going to ask to go into the portal. You know what I mean? But it's just unfortunate that the college experience has changed from what it was, even 5-6 years ago. Unless they start to develop some individualism and are okay with going to make whatever you're going to get and to stick it out. Right. I feel like that's where, you get callous. That's where the grit comes from. That's where, that dog, that's how you develop that dog. But if you want to keep being a bitch and go from school to school to school, you ain't never going to be a big dog. You always going to be a bitch.
But what do you say for a guy who's like, we just seen the past maybe 5 Heisman Trophy winners were all transfer portal guys. So what do you say to an athlete who's sitting is the backup at Ole Miss right now behind Trinidad and is like, maybe I can go to a Cal Berkeley or something and see if I can get a shot and I can get paid more?
Well, I mean, look, I'm not mad at that player. Like, if you're number 2 and you want to be number 1 and they're telling you you're going to be number 1. But what I do know is, look, man, these coaches are like young dudes, right? You're going to tell the pretty girl anything you want to get in their drawers. You know what I'm saying? So fair. These guys are coming over there. They think they're going to get this. If you are outperformed by somebody that's been there and you're not aware of, you're going to be like, oh, man, coach, you brought me here. And the coach ain't got to, so?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No college owes you anything. Now this is starting to become a business. So I feel like these players have to kind of have some more, self-awareness, right?
You dick.
Yeet is yeet.
All right, so I got one for Gen Z versus Gen X. I know you usually run the table, but I came across this on Instagram. So this is if you started a record label, which group are you picking?
Okay.
And I want to hear your thoughts, and I got some thoughts on it as well. So we got Group A. Group A is Biggie, Andre 3000, and Kanye West. All right.
Fuck.
Group B is Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z, and 50 Cent. Group C is Lil Wayne, Pharrell, and Kendrick Lamar. And Group D is Tupac, Nas, and Eminem. So who you got?
I like group. I think Kanye is gonna mess the first group up, man. Kanye is gonna.
Okay.
Kanye, we might come out with a nice single, a couple songs, and Kanye's just gonna Kanye. The second group was what? Jay-Z.
It was Jay-Z,
360.
Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, and 50 Cent.
That's strong right there.
Okay.
You can smoke weed. You got a gangster, and you got 2 gangsters, and you got somebody with a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then
C was Lil Wayne, Pharrell, and Kendrick.
Nah, because Kendrick is the only one. Nah, and the last one, I like Nas, Eminem, and Pac. Somebody's gonna die in that group.
Why you say that?
Just because, like, with Pac and Nas, they're so smart. Like, they're gonna be on some real revolution shit. And then Eminem already don't give a fuck. You already know he's gonna join. He's gonna be like John Brown. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going with the safe play, 50 Snoop and Jay-Z for the win.
I don't know about all that. Would be my last pick, actually.
Well, I'm just trying to be smart about it. Like, what's your first pick?
You got to think about it, though. I'm picking Group A. First, I'm a big Kanye fan, but that's besides the point. You got 3 stacks. You got Kanye. And then who was the other one? And then you got Biggie. So you're hitting all different kind of generations.
You got the producer.
But that's exactly it. You got the producer. Kanye is one of, I feel like, the greatest producers.
I just feel like he's gonna fuck shit up,
bro. But how so? He makes good music, though. At the end of the day, say what you
don't
want
be
about
seeing
Kanye.
what he does outside of music.
But that don't mean nothing right now. We talking about straight hits.
It gets in there, buddy.
We talking about straight hits, though.
You can't. Kanye doesn't just stick to the music. He doesn't just stick to the music. He got his goddamn wife walking around butt ass naked. How you supposed to concentrate?
What's that got to do with Kanye as a musician, though?
Nothing. That's fine. I love Kanye's
and
music.
If anything,
but what I'm saying, he's gonna get us canceled,
but
bro.
You're a businessman, though. You're a
he's
record label.
He's gonna fuck up the money.
Nah.
He's gonna fuck up the money. He was a billionaire. He fucked up his own money.
He's still a billionaire, probably. He's still what, 500 million? Same thing once you get into
That's
that.
That's why this is Gen X versus Gen Z.
So you taking Jay-Z,
I
you
already
taking
told
Group
you.
B, Snoop Dogg
I'm
and
going
50.
to safe play. I'm going to safe play.
Word.
50's a smart businessman.
Yeah.
He gonna talk that shit, and he got gangsters. Snoop got all LA on lock.
Okay.
And Jay-Z, you don't even really see him that much, man. He's
Yeah.
doing all wild shit. And
Yeah.
if we need some melodies, we gonna get Beyonce and Riri. What you talking about?
Okay.
Next week we'll come back with our own
Supergroup.
supergroup. Our top 3, who we gonna put in the group.
Kanye is going to be in it.
All right, we already know you got Kanye. Yo, that's a wrap from Vintage Vine 100. We're using the wine bar today because our spot is being used, man. You know, it just is what it is. This is actually my establishment. I'm the owner and one of the partners of Vintage Vine 100 in Franklin, Tennessee. If you're ever out here, check it out. I got my Just Love coffee right across the court, you know, so we keep the block pumping. Also check out later this week where I sat down with my guy, Rocky Boyman, my former teammate, Notre Dame legend.
Also figure out why they call him the bitch magnet.
Because he was the bitch magnet.
Podcasting for the masses, and I'm coming correct.